Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks. We'll be looking at the SP, the NASDAQ, and we'll also look at Bitcoin and Ethereum as well, because they kind of fit into the tech sector and they help us basically secure this here as wave 4. Because when you look at the SP here, you could view it as the ABC here, as we have been doing, and I've always liked this because of what I was seeing in stocks. But at the same time, this particular move up here that we've got as wave 1 and 2 here, that could also be an A and a B and a C wave that would make the B wave here. This is the sort of retracement level here, but that's here nor there at this particular point. So a larger 5 waves up here could see a wave B and then a wave C to the downside. It's not, I don't want to rule it out. It's not what I'm seeing. But when you're working with wave 4s, you can't fall asleep at the wheel. So, but as far as I can see, the stocks and the crypto market for the tech stocks that we look at, this is being secured as a wave 4, as we sort of mentioned yesterday as well. So just cut to the chase on the intraday basis in here. So no real change. Except that we can kind of push this in here a little bit more, and I'll push this over to here, and I'll put this here as a wave C into this place. That's we want a bigger show of that, but anyway, that will do. So basically wave 1 with wave 2 over to here, and then working the next leg to the upside. So this was a 50-60% retracement level here at the midpoint in terms of the trading levels at 51.50. So you can, definitely expect a little dance across there. Now I've built this up here as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but it's possible that this is just wave 1 sitting here as well, and that would bring this over to here, up here as wave 1, which I kind of prefer because that's what I'm looking at stocks. So I think what you can do is look at some type of dance across here before going up. So just, and I'm probably exaggerating as I do, but obviously 1 is the strongest number. It's being tested, so you have to keep your stops under here until we get the 50 here. Now of course there's group 1 above this as well, which is obviously 10, 20 and 30, which is always important, and it's just developing support on top of that now. So that would also be a little long trade up to the 50 if that was something that you were looking at. And because Friday closed slow, Friday closed firmly, then Monday is likely to follow through on that momentum in regards to our bullish weekly cycle, which is in the learn section. So it's kind of good to understand that a little bit, because if you do see it playing out, so anyway, I won't go into all of that. So okay, so that's that, and the rest of the markets sort of follow on that. The NASDAQ here as well, so we're looking at the same thing as a little wave 1 up here as well, and wave 2 and moving up. Obviously the 18,000 here for the NASI is going to be, well, it needs to be navigated, doesn't it, and so we can kind of expect to see a bit of a struggle at that point, be something like this. So if you would like, if you're trading, the XLK or the triple Q or something of that nature, we want to be up here somewhere. So to get through this here, you're going to have to take some pain, and obviously everything in our psyche and mental capacity, is to avoid pain. That keeps us alive. So that's really the thing that you need to struggle with in terms of trading. So it's, anyway, that's in psychology. We don't need to go in there. You can do that. So we want to go to the 20K here, just to go into the intraday dance, and from this wave 4 here, we've got our 1 and 2 here, and so what we wanted to do was have a long trade here, basically above the 50, well, basically above the B wave here, because it was, it retested supply. So moving through supply would negate any bearish strength at that particular point in time. Now, once again, here we are at the 18. And the first thing that we do when we look at the 18, we look at group 1 above and group 2 below. 18 is the third strongest number after 1 and 5. So you can definitely expect some type of, you know, sort of movement through here in this, something that would be in this range here before going up. And it's good to know that, because then you can just simply keep your stop out of the way, you know. And yeah, I mean, you just got to take that heat and that risk, and that's the hardest, one of the hardest things to do. But that's where we are, and yeah, so looking all good. So, you know, I mean, far as I can sort of see here, we'll have one position under the level here, and then we'll start building. Once we get this particular corrective pattern here, right, then we're going to build quite strongly into the next move here, because we'll be into the third of the third at that point of the third. So we'll look to move into that quite strongly. So this is Bitcoin, and we've been working through this correction for a while with wave 3 here, an A wave and a B wave. And then over the last wee while, we've been looking at 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third. The fourth over to here with a WXY is probably a good fit in this case. And then we were looking at this in two ways. So yesterday we're calling, or over the last few days, we were calling a low in based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1, an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2, then wave 3, 4 and 5. So calling that low in there seemed to be the right thing to do. So now we're building. This was above the 38.2% retracement level here for the alternative count to the downside. So that was the point to go long in a safe way. And yeah, so I've started to just sort of build this here, but obviously the 65, the medium level, halfway between two major levels, is really the balance point for this market, and getting back up on here would see us taking this top out over here for this. So I think this is the run to, you know, to much higher ground towards, you know, the 100 and so on up here. But obviously we've got to get through 65, 72 and 80. They're kind of like a small group too, if you know the levels in a little way. So the good thing about this, as I've mentioned before, is that it won't be apparent now, but I'll just take you into the crystal ball, because later on here, what will happen is all this consolidation here, all this grief that we've been through here, will become a foundation for later on, because there'll also be consolidation here. But when we get to the 100 up here, all of this here, all of this support here will be the support for the market. Okay, so it won't be like that, but it'll be something like that. I can nail that down much better, of course, but just pointing out that if you've traveled through group 2 before, then you'll understand what's going on here. And also Ethereum, just to back the Bitcoin situation up a little bit, is wave 3, an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4 over to here, and then the wave 5 down here didn't really need you know, much analysis, and now we're moving to the upside. I mean, obviously that was the trade here for that, and the idea here is to really just keep building in on these guys here. This is all of group 1 of major level 3, so we need to build in. So once you've got 3 or 4 positions in here, then once we've got a test of support on 3 here using the classic trading levels pattern, then the 5 we don't need to add until we get to above the 5 on this over here. So we'll get a pattern like this here, either this one, or this one. They're the only 3 that really occur, and you just get sort of mixes of those two certain. Welcome to Trading Lounge and our little Bitcoin prediction game, so you can test your analysis. So if you go to Trading Lounge, you'll see Bitcoin prediction here, and it's on GMT time, so it finishes at the end of the month. And you can win, at this stage, you can win 1 million Satoshis, and we'll try to up that with some sponsorship as we go. We're just testing the first month here in May. When you go to this particular page, you'll see a Google login here. So you just use your Google login here. And once you have logged in, I've got this particular price here of 72,000. So I can edit that as much as I like up to the 20th of each month. After that, it locks in at that point. So you can change it, but the last 10 days will run free. So it's absolutely free to play. There's no catches. There's only one entry, and you'll use your Google login to do that, and there'll be a leaderboard here for that. So I hope you enjoy it, and it's just a little bit of fun. Alrighty. Point, but that's where we are. We're bullish. And over to Apple, which put a bit of an injection into the market. Not to all the stocks, because Amazon didn't move much, Netflix didn't move much. So, you know, it from the top to the bottom here on the daily chart, it hit my little pocket at the 62.65 retracement level there. So, you know, we had 5 waves here, so we started to build in, you know, so we've got long trade in here. Now, could this be an A and a B and a C wave up here, like I was talking about with the other markets? It's possible. Probable, not so much. I think we're on the sort of right track here with this, and we'll just need to shapen this up in here now that we've got that. So as you can see, we'd be looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and obviously a third wave in here that could probably push a little bit higher, but there'll be some sort of wave 4 in here, and then a wave 5 coming up and hitting supply. How far that goes up, I don't know. Normally the same length as wave 1, but take that with a pinch of salt. And then we'll have wave 2. How far that comes back, you know, it will come back, and then we'll push up again, and, you know, do the dance at the 200 and so on. So that's pretty much how that's going to play out in the bigger picture. So taking that on board, going into the 1000 tick area here, a bit of a mess, don't need that now. So it's good to have that. We're looking for a long trade above the 180 here. We can see the stochastics just not set fast, just set on normal here, you know, wanting to pull back. So we could probably go over here. But as I mentioned here, what will probably happen is we'll push up here, and then we'll be coming back. So it's going to be a bit of a thing. But how far it pulls back is always a little bit of a mystery. I could see this, yeah, I don't know what's in there. I could look at this as 1 and 2. I could take that all to 3, 4, and 5, or I could look at this slightly differently and look at this up here as 4 and then 5 and then another move up here. So there's a couple of ways to look at that. I don't think it's, you know, for the longer term trade, I don't think we don't need to do much. But should we buy again here, or should we wait back here at the 180? So we will be going higher here. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't, you know. But anything under the 200 will be a little bit of a bonus, you know. So, but we've got a few positions here, so that's cool, you know. So, I don't know. I mean, what's the difference between 80 and 3 here? I just don't like being sort of exposed up there. I've got nowhere to put a stop. We can obviously move this stop over to break even here. We could put a little part position here. We could sort of dollar cost average the situation, you know. So I'll just put a thin green line here, and I'll just push that back in there because it will just disappear later. So yeah, and we'll try to build in another little position there as well. Okay, so Amazon hasn't really moved much as well. It's a bit sort of slow, but stochastics is pulling back a little bit. It's running running quite fast actually, but it just tells me that, you know, that we're going to push up into the 190, which will give us a double top over here. Double tops are never the end of the trend, so we're going to see some type of consolidation around here before pushing up. So I think everything's cool here. We can move that stop up to this point. Don't want to add to this, and I'll just leave that as is at the moment. And then we come over to NVIDIA. It's, you know, it's had the same move here as Bitcoin, really. I know that's, you know, anyway. I've got this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but I could just put this as 1 up here. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that just yet. I'll just put a little question mark there. I'll need to mull that over with a cup of tea. I don't drink anymore, so I can't have a glass of red over it like I used to. I'll drink again when I retire. So yeah, in this one here, I've got yeah. Look, there'll be, I don't know. There'll be, it's the same old story really. So it's some sort of thing like this. You know, that gap will probably be on the menu and be something like this. So yeah, I mean the main thing here is that if you wanted to, I know we're being in and out of this here, but if you just leave the stop out of here, you'll accommodate that. So you could get here. So you could buy here. You could buy at the 900. You could buy at 1020. So I think what I'll do is I'll just wait for over here for this. But I don't know how far that's going to pull back. But you know, we should be in. You see this group 2 business here. This is like sort of, you know, like I mentioned about Bitcoin, you know, this consolidation here. Later on, this consolidation here will be the support over here for this wave too. So realistically, we could probably bring this up over here somewhere because the other stocks will be running, so it won't be pulling back that far. So I'll leave that at that. And then we come to Facebook, and you know, we're talking about going long above this little top here, and then, you know, when we spoke yesterday, we thought we'll wait for this little 5 waves here. It's very slow and pulling back in. But yeah, I mean, we can go long here. You just need to leave the stop here. We don't need that here now. That was a 38.2% retracement level for the possible wave 4. So look, I think you could just pretty much go in here now, you know, for this at the 450 area and just keep the stop under here, and then you know your risk. And because the rest of the market is pushing up, then we should be pretty safe for, you know, the next move up as it comes. Okay, so Netflix, we've been looking at wave 4 being in place. This has been dodgy as hell, this one, but 1 and an ABC for 2 here. And then looking at this now, this is sort of building up here nicely. So yeah, this little impulse wave to wave 1 here is definitely not finished, and it could even move up a little bit higher here. I'm not quite sure, but we've got 1 and 2 in here, and this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so it can move up a little bit higher. Once again, if you wanted to move into this, just for the time being, keep the position out of here, and just do maybe a part position in here as well. The risk here is basically looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave over here, and then having wave 4 come down here again. That's the risk, you know. So once we've got this as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, then the safe trade is over here on this. So I might just remove that. I'm quite sure we'll keep on going, but nothing is certain in the market. But basically, in terms of patterns, we'd be moving past a 3 wave, you know, possible corrective pattern at that point. So we'll wait. This will take us up to, you know, above this height here. We could probably be looking at 720 at least or something, but we'll see how that goes. And over to Google. So we've had this trade in down here, and we've got this one here. We move the stop up. So I'm going to move the stop out of the way again here now. I know the market's going up now, so I don't have to be bothered with it, but I just don't want to get caught on some, you know, I could label this as wave 1 with an ABC here, or could label this 1, 2 here. I could do those type of things, but no, I can't. I can only go 1 and ABC for 2 here. But it's not giving me the best impulse wave. So what I want to be careful about is having 5 waves up here and then coming down here, getting stopped out, and then moving up here again. So yeah, what we will do though is once this little move up here is finished, and it probably won't come back down here, it will push up. Then we can go long on this again. So it's 1.7 thing here. So I'm going to go to 168, and I'm going to go above group 1 on 168, which will be 3, and then micro 3, so 33, so 35. So I've got that at 37. So I'll put it up there for the time being, and we'll try to improve on that. But that would be, at that point, would be safe to continue to the upside, because this is where we need to build in. Let's just assume for a moment that that I've got something, right for once. So if this is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, then we should be building in quite strongly through all of this here. This should move quite, you know, quite nicely through here. So if that is the case, we need to play to win. So we need to build in through group 2 here, and we can stay away from the 200, and we can let that, you know, some sort of larger correction play out between group 1 and group 2 here as support, because that top there will be the support over here. So if we can build in here, we can build in here and take some out here and wait for the correction, build back in and take some out up here and thing. But we want to keep some of these in for the longer haul to the upside. So we'll try to do that. And we come to Microsoft. So we're looking at wave 3 here with wave 4, 1 and 2 here. And obviously this is 1 and 2 here. So you can pretty much track this little, well, we'll put this up here as 1 and 2. This is 2 coming back. This is wave 3 here. This will be wave 4 pulling back. This will be wave 5 up here. And then there'll be an ABC. So if you wanted the safe correction, the safe setup, then this would be it over here. Now, because the bearish case of this would be the A wave, the B wave and the C wave to here, and then we come down from that point. So moving past that risk area there, this is what we'd do at this point. If you wanted to go in early and get a better price because you felt like the market was going up, well then the stop would need to be tucked under here somewhere. Okay, over to Tesla. So the impulse wave to the upside is looking good. This wave 2 could be counted differently. We're not down at this 50-60% retracement level. We haven't covered a gap. It's possible to come down here further. It does look like a little impulse wave here, not the best looking one, but it's there. So as I mentioned yesterday, what we want to try to do here is just get, you know, a position under the level here and then build in quite strongly over here. So this is the arrival here. So this will be the reaction and it'll be the first high above the level. So if we played this out here, it will be something like this here. And that would look like this here. So the arrival we're in here. I don't know if we've got another little move down here, then we got this, and then we got this, and then we got that. So that's where all that is. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it all at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.